Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my video. Smash that like button, hit that. I'm totally kidding. Don't do any of that shit. You guys are here for one purpose and one purpose only. And that purpose being my Ck2 definitive DLC tier list. Now, everyone and their mother loves a good DLC tier list. But more importantly, everyone loves my opinion. Also my humility. Anyway, more to the point, we have some DLCs to go over. Now, I'm going to pull up my list here. It's going to be rather exciting. The formatting, as you can see, is going to be just brilliant. This is what I'm going to talk about for the next couple minutes. Now, what we've got going on right now, the Ck2 DLC tier list. Bare bones essentials. I understand that these DLCs are relatively expensive. Right now, at the moment, as of January 2020, Ck2 is free to play, which, you know, take it or leave it, it is free to play. Now, the very bare bones existence of Ck2 and nothing else, no other DLC, in my opinion, kind of cringe. I would recommend at least these 5 first DLCs that I've outlined in green right here. Now, you can see Holy Fury is the first one I'd recommend you get. Now, I don't know if this is because I've been immersed in Ck2 for so long that I've had the experience of Ck2 without Holy Fury and with, and that means that Ck2 with Holy Fury is just so much better. But I'm telling you, if you only get one DLC, I would highly recommend Holy Fury. Now, that comes with Bloodlines, Warrior Lodges, the Pagan Reformations, and Shattered Worlds. Shattered Worlds, in my opinion, is one of the best DLC features that you could ever have. Mainly because the replayability is huge, literally infinite. If you want to play as a count in some backwater nobody wears, go to town. Why not? There's no reason not to. If you want to play as a tribal entire world, please do. You want to play the Pope? Sure. Go take Rome away from the Pope. I don't think he deserved it anyway. Fuck that guy. Depending on when it was. I don't know. Conclave is the second one that we should talk about here. Favors for your friends, education traits for your kids, and council power. Now, this really lets you roleplay a whole bunch more than I think you would be able to in other places. More often than not, Conclave is the DLC that you will use the most. Holy Fury provides the most content, in my opinion, but just the way you play the game, Conclave changes so much. You have to bow to your vassals or become an autocrat. It is really quite incredible. Third, Way of Life focuses. Way of Life basically set the groundwork for all of Ck3's new focuses. The one thing I do like about Ck3 is its focus tree. Getting that focus tree down is huge, and honestly, it started here with Way of Life. And I think this is the skeleton of what Ck3 became, in my opinion. Sons of Abraham, also super important. Holy Orders, papal mechanics, really lets you get better involved in the Christian world. Now, Sons of Abraham came out before they did Rise of Rajas, or really anything farther west than Turkey. So, Sons of Abraham, while important, is one that I was, going through, considering whether or not to put in Bare Bones Essentials or the Chunky Boy Experience. So, yes, I would highly recommend getting Sons of Abraham. Fifth, and finally, Old Gods. Abso-frickin-lutely get Old Gods. Now, you get an earlier start date. Now, normally what you would do is you would go for a 1066 start date if you did not have Old Gods or Charlemagne. However, the Old Gods kind of give the pagans a lot more flavor than they're used to. Before, the pagans in the game really weren't part of the game. It was a Christian feudal simulator with crusades added in. But with Old Gods, you can do so much more. And it really fleshes out the pagans for me. At least for me. Now, the Chunky Boy experience. If you're on a budget and you really want to experience Ck2 at just the cream of the crop, Bare Bones Essentials, go to town. If you got a little bit more dough to throw around, consider the Chunky Boy experience. Legacy of Rome. We have to talk about Legacy of Rome for a second. I really wanted to put this in Bare Bones Essentials, but I can't say if you were on a budget and you had like 30 bucks to spend on a game, I can't say definitively go for Legacy of Rome. It is extremely important, but only for one reason, and that is retinues. Retinues are super important for both tribal and late-game feudal societies. Now, you can also restore the Roman Empire, sure, mend the Great Schism, whatever, but more importantly, retinues. Tribal retinues, particularly, I'll give this tip for you for free. Hunting party retinues, broken, absolutely broken. So I would highly recommend Legacy of Rome. Reaper's Due, court physicians, Black Death, and new interesting diseases. This really takes your roleplay to another level, right? Because you got the Black Death coming in. Now, generally in a playthrough, you would have, in real life history, have had all of these diseases and plagues rock your alternate universe world. However, they didn't have that until Reaper's Due came along. When Reaper's Due did come along, then you got all sorts of new stuff happening, and it was really, really cool. So, Black Death, measles, mumps, my favorite, syphilis, I'm not suffering from it, I promise. A bunch of venereal diseases, wow, consumption, whole 9 yards. On top of that, monks and mystics, societies, adds in relics and absurd events. Now, this one's kind of on the fence for me. Like, I do enjoy monks and mystics, definitely, because societies are so freaking cool. But the absurd events, some people don't love. I get it, take it or leave it, whatever. But I really loved Glitterhoof, man. Glitterhoof is the best. It's so cool and interesting and funny and just wonderful. Plus, it's got historical ties. Excellent. There are a ton of more events that I don't want to spoil for you, but highly recommend Monks and Mystics as well. Ruler Designer speaks for itself. I mean, it's $3 on Steam. If you can't afford $3 and you don't want to make yourself a lunatic, giant, left-handed asshole that's just going to take over all of Christendom, then don't throw it out there. But Ruler Designer goes the extra mile. Now, in CK3, it is free, as it should be, in my opinion. But goodness gracious me, they did a fantastic job balancing this with the traits that you have to put in and the traits that you can't have in there. And I really think that CK2 did an excellent job, their developers, making Ruler Designer. Now, Rajas of India, also super important, because this is a big part of the entire map, right? As you can see down here. Yep. Look at that. All that map right there. That was not present up until the Rajas of India. Now, Rajas of India gives the map a little bit more. A little bit more all the way down in India. Makes sense. What else do I have to say for the damn thing? War Elephants also got introduced for Rajas of India. Extremely powerful, heavy cavalry type. I will do a video eventually on how to, well, one, use elephants effectively in battle, but two, also use them to gain your vassal's favor. So that's very important as well. But Rajas of India, chunky boy experience for days. Sword of Islam, also along the lines of Sons of Abraham, but as it's Crusader Kings 2, not necessarily like a Jihad Kings 2 or whatever. Jihad Sultans, pardon me. I would say Sword of Islam is part of the chunky boy experience. It's exciting playing Ck2. The open succession is a lot of fun. I don't love what they did with it in CK3, but Ck2 is cool. And if you're looking to swap it up a little bit, blob out as the Abbasids, have a fun little time down there in Marrakesh, I would highly recommend playing Sword of Islam. Now, if you don't want to do anything else, call it there on this ridiculous $200 game. Don't go any farther. If y'all didn't go any farther right now, I don't think you'd be missing all that much. That being said, if you got the scratch for it, I would highly recommend buying Horse Lords, Charlemagne, Jade Dragon, The Republic, and Sunset Invasion. I'm going to start at the back one there because Sunset Invasion is one of those that, some people are kind of on the fence about. Either you love it or you hate it. In my opinion, I love it. The challenge there is so much fun. I love having a 100k Doom stack, dropping down on the shores of Spain and absolutely obliterating anybody until they can get to your empire. And it is wonderful, the incredible fights that you can have and the amount of just sheer carnage that you can wreak upon your... It's wild. I would highly recommend it. I love it. Lots of people hate it because they get wrecked by it. I don't want to say those people are bad at things, but like... get good. Sorry, that's a little bit fucked up. Anyway, Horse Lords. Horse Lords adds into Nomads. Now... take it or leave it. Horse Lords is my least favorite DLC. I've always found the Horse Lords to be a little bit tedious. The clan management is a little... I don't think they quite got it right in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Horse Lords, if you got the scratch for it, I think it's like $3 or something. Pick it up. It adds in some separate dynamics. It's kind of like... It's a dumbed down version of Ck2, basically. Like, if you want the extra... If you want to go the extra mile, do it. Do it. But it is the one that I would recommend least. Now, Charlemagne. Charlemagne, I had mixed feelings about as well. Because, well, two things. And I'm dead serious about this. Fuck the Carlings. Fuck the Carlings and the border gore that they create. Are you... God, they're the worst. But Charlemagne does introduce an earlier start date in 769, which, in my opinion, makes the entire world so much richer, and the pagans have a bigger chance of actually taking over the planet, and it's so much fun. Like, so I would highly recommend Charlemagne, but if you didn't have the scratch for it, don't put out for it, alright? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Jade Dragon. Jade Dragon is also very interesting, mainly because it adds in a bit of balance to the game. Once an empire, particularly an AI empire, gets big enough, say the Byzantines take off, right? Once that empire gets big enough, you can't necessarily put a cap on it anymore. It's out into the world, and you cannot stop it. I mean, you can, but like, it's very difficult to. Jade Dragon adds in interactions with China, which culminate basically anything from getting artifacts from them, which are quite powerful in their own right, to calling an invasion from the heavens down on their upright, uptight assholes. Just fucking excellent. Fantastic. The one that pains me the most to put outside of the Chunky Boy experience is the Republic. Now, I love Merchant Republics. And Merchant Republics make me very, very, very happy. But they're kind of difficult to navigate, and if you don't know what the heck you're doing, particularly concerning trade zones, then you're going to be a little bit SOL. If you guys want, I'd be happy to explain trade zones to you in a separate video, but not right now. If you like drowning in money, murdering everybody, and in my opinion, having the purest CK2 experience, ground up, sniffed, good to go, then I would highly recommend the Republic. I realize there now that, you know, I didn't not highly recommend anything except Horse Lords, so I'm just going to leave you with this. Bare Bones and Chunky Boy. Absolutely. Now, keep this in mind as I let you out into the world. Keep in mind that if you do join a multiplayer, whatever host is actually holding the multiplayer will give you their DLC for a borrow, basically. So whatever DLC the host has, you have as well for that game, which is super important. That really makes it a lot easier for you to play any sort of multiplayer game. So, if you ever wanted to, twitch.tv/CreamyLou, we play multiplayers on Sundays. Anyway, that's all I've got for you. Auf Wiedersehen, adieu. Thank you guys for stopping by. You know, I did joke about smashing that like button and hitting that subscribe button, but yeah, please don't still do that. That's horrifying and cringe. So don't be cringe. Just don't be cringe. That'd be fantastic. I don't still have a sign off, so I'm just gonna like end it here. Can we stop? Is this a thing? Can we? I don't like this.